His eyes met mine in the mirror that day, and something inside me shifted. I was standing at the far corner of the gym, trying to keep my body moving, pretending I was still young enough to belong there. Sweat clung to my skin, my chest heaving from the treadmill. And then, I saw him, broad shoulders, skin bronzed with a youthful glow, that gym attendant whose smile made me feel like I had stepped into a new season of my life. He walked over, his towel hanging loosely around his neck. "You're pushing yourself hard," he said with that deep, teasing voice. "Let me show you something better for your body, and maybe for your energy." The way he said energy made me blush. I wasn't used to this, being noticed. I was a woman with a routine, a marriage that had turned into something polite, distant. Yet here I was, standing in front of this young man who looked at me like I was the most interesting sight in the room. When his hand brushed mine as he guided me to another machine, my heart stuttered. His touch was firm, but tender, as though he wanted me to know he could handle every bit of me, even the parts of myself I thought were too worn out, too tired to be adored again. And that's where my story begins. Before I take you further, let me pause right here, because what I'm about to share is not just exercise, not just sweat, but fire, lust, and rediscovery. Backhand index pointing right, medium skin tone. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who believes passion has an expiration date, because I'm living proof that it doesn't. Now, back to that moment. He leaned closer, correcting my posture on the bench. His breath lingered near my ear, and I could feel the heat rising in my body, not from the workout, but from him. His presence was magnetic, almost dangerous. "Relax," he whispered. "You're holding too much tension." I almost laughed, because if only he knew. The tension wasn't in my muscles, it was in my heart, in my thighs, in the way my body longed to respond to his nearness. That night, after I left the gym, I couldn't stop thinking about him. The way he watched me as I walked out, his eyes undressing me quietly. I had been a wife, a mother, a woman who thought her time for being wanted had passed. But in that one glance, he reawakened something. Something dangerous. Something miraculous. And that, my dear listener, is how I became entangled. I still remember that first night after meeting him at the gym. I couldn't sleep. My body was heavy with exhaustion from the treadmill, yet my mind kept running like it was sprinting on its own. His smile, the way his arms flexed when he reached up to adjust the barbell, the scent of his sweat mixed with cologne, all of it played over and over in my head. And then, just before I drifted into restless slumber, it hit me, how long had it been since I felt like this? How long since my age, my marriage, and the dull routines of life had left me craving something that made me feel alive again? The very next day, I walked into the gym earlier than usual. He was there, of course, waiting at the front desk. His eyes caught mine with an energy that lit me up inside. "Back already?" he teased, his grin playful. "Guess you've turned me into a gym addict overnight," I replied, laughing, though we both knew I wasn't just here for the weights or the treadmill. The pull between us. It started small. A brush of his hand when he passed me the dumbbells. A whisper close to my ear correcting my posture. His palm, firm and steady, resting on my back as he guided me through squats. Each touch burned. Each smile pulled me deeper. And somewhere inside me, I felt a dangerous voice whisper, "You're not just here to work out. You're here because of him." An invitation that changed everything. That evening, as the gym emptied and the sun began to sink, he leaned in closer while adjusting my machine. His breath was warm on my neck. "You're stronger than you think," he said, his voice low, almost intimate. I turned, and our eyes locked longer than they should have. He didn't step back, and neither did I. "Maybe you should let me train you, outside the gym too," he added, half a smile tugging at his lips. It wasn't just words. It was an invitation. A promise. The emotional miracle. That night, I went home buzzing. I looked at myself in the mirror and, for the first time in years, I didn't just see an aging woman trying to hold on. I saw a woman reawakening, rediscovering. His attention made me feel younger, radiant, like I'd been handed back years I thought were gone. It was intoxicating, dangerous, and miraculous all at once. Red heart, and before I continue deeper into this emotional storm, let me remind you, if you're listening to this right now, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Trust me, you won't want to miss how far this story will take us. Red heart. His text came at the wrong time, or maybe the perfect time. I was in my kitchen, sipping wine, watching the night stretch itself across the window pane when my phone buzzed. You left your towel here. Want me to bring it, or would you rather come get it yourself? It was innocent, on the surface. But we both knew it wasn't about the towel. I typed, deleted, then typed again before finally sending. I'll come. I told myself it was just a towel. Just an excuse. But even as I changed into something casual, my pulse betrayed me. My fingers trembled with a hunger I hadn't felt in years. When I arrived at the gym, the place was already closing down. Lights were dim, machines silent, mirrors catching only fragments of us. He was waiting at the counter, towel folded neatly in his hands, smirk pulling at the corners of his lips. You came, he said, voice low, as if the walls had ears. Of course, I whispered, taking the towel, though my hand brushed his fingers longer than it needed to. That's when it happened. His hand didn't retreat. Instead, he tightened it around mine, firm and deliberate. Electricity raced through me, the kind that no treadmill or dumbbell could ever produce. If you're watching this, don't forget, hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this ride only gets deeper. He led me, not to the main floor, but to the small stretching room tucked behind the weight racks. Mirrors lined every wall, and for a moment, I had to confront myself, this woman, past 40, about to make choices that couldn't be undone. You know why you're here, he said, stepping close. My voice caught. Do I? Yes, he answered, his breath brushing the shell of my ear. When his lips touched mine, it wasn't tender. It was demanding, hungry, like he'd been waiting too long. My back pressed against the mirrored wall, and I gasped at the sight of my reflection, a woman reawakened, undone, trembling but alive. Every kiss was a confession. Every touch, a betrayal. And yet, it felt like salvation. Somewhere in the heat of it, I laughed breathlessly against his mouth. This is crazy. He grinned, lips grazing my jaw. Then let's be crazy. I wanted to pull away, to regain control. But instead, I sank into him, deeper, helpless against the force that pulled me. He wasn't just younger, stronger, he was danger wrapped in desire. And I was addicted. Halfway through, I stopped, pressed my palm against his chest to steady myself. You're making me forget everything. That's the point, he replied, his eyes burning into me. And in that room, under that dim light, I realized the truth. I didn't want to remember. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share this if you're feeling the heat of this story. Because what happened next changed everything. I never thought a treadmill could become the stage where my heart would start beating like it was 20 again. The gym had always been just a place to fight age, to tone what time was slowly stealing from me. But that day, when his eyes caught mine in the mirror across the room, I realized this gym attendant wasn't just working my body, he was waking up something I thought had died long ago. Need a hand with those weights? His voice was calm, low, confident, but respectful. I smiled, half nervous, half daring, because I knew my husband never spoke to me like that anymore. His words didn't just help my biceps, they carried a weight my heart was hungry for. He leaned in, close enough that I caught the faint scent of his cologne mixed with clean sweat. His fingers brushed mine as he adjusted my grip, and my body answered with a shiver I couldn't hide. Perfect form, he whispered, though I knew he wasn't just talking about how I held the bar. Now, before I take you deeper into this part of my story, let me pause. If you're feeling the heat of this confession, if you're drawn into my world of forbidden desire, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who craves these secret stories of true infidelity. Your support keeps me brave enough to tell the things most women would never admit aloud. He wasn't just a boy at the gym anymore. He became the mirror I wanted to see myself in. His laugh made me blush. His encouragement made me work harder, not for the body I thought I wanted, but for the attention I knew I was starting to crave from him. When he offered to stretch me after a workout, I told myself it was innocent. Just part of his job. But when his strong hands pressed against my lower back, holding me in a deep stretch, my breath betrayed me. A soft moan slipped out, and I felt his chest pause, his body tense. I should have stopped there. Walked away. But instead, I whispered, "Don't let go." And he didn't. That moment was the beginning of a dangerous reawakening. With him, every touch was explosive. Every look pulled me out of the dullness of my marriage and into something raw, emotional, miraculous. I wasn't just sweating from the workouts anymore, I was sweating from the battles inside me, torn between what was right and what felt too alive to resist. The gym was almost empty that evening, the smell of sweat and iron still lingering in the air, but it wasn't the weights or the mirrors that held my attention. It was him. My attendant. The man whose eyes followed me like a prayer, whose smile carried a danger I hadn't felt in years. I was stretching by the treadmill when he walked over, towel slung over his shoulder, his shirt clinging to his chest from his own workout. "You're pushing yourself hard tonight," he said, his voice low, teasing, almost daring me to admit why I was here so often. I gave him a smile, but inside I knew, this wasn't about fitness anymore. This was about him, about the way he reawakened the parts of me I thought age had stolen away. He adjusted my form during squats, his hands firm on my hips, his breath warm near my ear. That simple touch sent sparks down my spine, pulling me back into a woman I thought I had buried beneath motherhood, marriage, and years of routine. He whispered, "You're stronger than you think," but I heard it as something more. Stronger. Desired. Alive. That night, when he offered to walk me to my car, I didn't hesitate. The parking lot was quiet, the glow of the streetlights casting shadows that seemed to hide us from the world. He leaned against my car, looking at me with an intensity that stripped away the years, the doubts, the hesitations. "You have no idea what you do to me," he said, and before I could answer, his lips were on mine, hungry, urgent, and reckless. My lies began right there. Lies to my husband about late workouts. Lies to myself that this was only physical. But between his lips and my silence, I found something miraculous, an emotional reawakening. Somewhere in the middle of our tangled passion, I want you, my listener, to remember, hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe. Because what I'm telling you is raw, unfiltered, and true infidelity. Back in his tiny trainer's office, where the smell of chalk and sweat mixed with his cologne, he pressed me against the wall and kissed me like a man starved. Every touch was destruction and resurrection all at once. His vigor wasn't just physical, it broke into my age, into my insecurities, pulling out the younger woman I thought I had lost forever. I shouldn't have let it go so far, but I did. His body against mine, his words echoing, "You taste like life itself," made me believe for a moment that I was ageless, limitless, alive. And when it was over, when my hair was messy and my lips swollen, he held me close and whispered, "You're not done yet. I'm not done with you." That's when I realized, this wasn't just about lust. This was about an addiction I didn't know I needed. He wasn't just my gym attendant anymore. He had become my secret, my undoing, my miracle. So here I am, confessing it all. My betrayal wasn't in the act itself. It was in how willingly I surrendered to him, and how deeply I craved the way he made me feel. Because in his arms, I wasn't just someone's wife. I remember the last time his lips touched mine. It wasn't just a kiss, it was poison and medicine all at once, burning me alive while numbing the ache I swore I could hide. His betrayal tasted sweet, my lies tasted bitter, but together they became the cocktail that left me addicted, breathless, undone. And yet, even as I confess this, I know you feel that same heat crawling across your skin just listening. Desire doesn't play fair, and betrayal doesn't end clean. sometimes, the lips that destroy you are the same ones that keep you alive. If this story pulled you in, if you felt the sting of lust, lies, and longing in every word, then don't just leave quietly. Hit that subscribe button now, give this video a like, and share it with someone who knows the danger of temptation all too well. Because this is not just my confession, it's yours too. Until next time, keep your secrets close, your lips dangerous, and your heart guarded.